Hello, welcome to Shenmue II Duck Racing. We're going to just jump straight into it. I'm joined by the lovely Jenny.
Thank you.
And my microphone keeps falling down. Hang on a second. There we go. So we're going to go straight. We're going to start a new game. We're going to start from a previously cleared game because this will give us plenty of money to jump into it. And we're just going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. So we arrive in Hong Kong, and we're going to go skip a whole bunch of cutscenes and then go straight into an unskippable cutscene. And this is a great introduction to the fact that this is Shenmue. It's a very heavily story-driven game, where the general goal is to find out the reason Landy, a mysterious man, came to your house and killed your father, and also stole a mirror.
Wishing luck to travelers.
And so the entire game is about the story of how that evolves, and
Put some money in. It'll
essentially
bring you
Ryo's
luck.
journey into adulthood at the same time. We're going to give some money to this guy because he will tell us where we're going. We're currently trying to find one site in Hong Kong, and we're going to buy a map. And I'm going to try and buy a map. Come on, buy a map. Buy a map. Come on, there we go. And and this map will be very useful because what it allows us to do is to do a glitch. So we know you've seen one unskippable cutscene already. This will allow us to avoid a great many more. All we have to do is open up the map at a certain point in our running animation. That was not how you do it. Let's try again. Watch the proper screen because there's less latency there. That's also not how you do it. Third time lucky. Why is this not working? Okay. I am not quite tuned to how the timing on this.
It's okay.
There we go.
Just take
We got
your
it. We got it. So while we're looking at the map, we can't trigger events. And because we opened it at a certain point in our running animation, we actually carried on walking while the map was open. And so we actually walked right past that arm wrestling place there, which normally triggers an unskippable cutscene. But in this case, we didn't see it at all, which is great. We also walked into a cutscene with Joy, who is a red-headed woman on a motorbike. And we'll see a bit of her later, but for now we're going to run ahead into this alleyway, where we're going to be ambushed by a bunch of 4 guys. One of them's a kid, and they're going to steal our bags, which is definitely not ideal. So what we're supposed to do here is find the kid who stole the bag, chase him down through a restaurant to the rest of his mates, and then beat him up a bit, get the bag back, and find out all of our money has been stolen. Because we know all of our money is gone anyway, and what we can do is just completely ignore the fact we're supposed to get our bag back and fail to map glitch again. Okay, why am I not doing this today? Marathon luck. There we go. So normally if you walk onto this bridge, Ryo will say, no, you can't go this way, we need to turn around. But again, we map glitch through it, and we save about 5 or 6 minutes by doing that. So we're going to go straight into one site. And the first thing Ryo does on arriving at one site is he pulls out this note.
The Come Over Guest House is just up ahead.
If you want to know where he got that note, he got that note from Wong, which is the kid that we didn't chase and didn't get our bag back from. But the game thinks we did because we've skipped it. We also walk into here where we meet Joy again, and she congratulates us on getting our bag back. As you can see, we haven't got our bag back, and a lot of the run is going to be like that. But she tells us to go and stay at the Come Over Guest House, which is this building here. And if we give her name, we will get a discount when we stay here. So we do that. We get given a room, which is this room right here. It's a very swanky room. It's got a single bed and a wardrobe. And now we've got a place to stay. We're going to go ahead and find and go on with our quest. So when Ryo's father was murdered, a short while later he got a letter from DigitalDuck,
I should make some money.
which said that he should beware of people who are after the mirror.
I'll look for the South Korean quarter.
And he'd sent us to Master Chen, who sent us to Li Xiaotao, who lives in the South Korean quarter, and that's why we're here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this sign and talk to someone at the same time.
You cold?
And this actually puts us in a state where we're invisible and also cannot trigger events. The game thinks we're still looking at that sign, but we're actually not. We're running around. And the reason we do that is because this guy here wants us to help him straighten the sign, and that takes a very, very long time. I think it's about 3 or 4 minutes. So we obviously don't want that to happen. We're going to run straight past him. We're actually going to stay invisible right up until we reach the staircase for South Korean Quarter, which is right here. And then we're just going to walk in, and we're going to be straight to where we need to go, missing everything in between. So we've arrived at South Korean Quarter. The address we've been given is Yantin Apartments, room 205, so we're going to go there. And you'll see a brief glimpse of the letter when we arrive. Here we go.
This is the Yantin Apartments. Li Xiaotao lives here.
So we enter the Yantin Apartments and we immediately get attacked by an old lady who thinks we're trying to kick her out of the house. We'll hear more from her later as well, but for now we're going to go to room 205 and we're going to meet Li Xiaotao.
What do you want?
Hang on a second.
Excuse me.
This isn't Li
Are you
Xiaotao.
Of course,
Do you know any?
Master.
Do you know what?
I don't.
So,
I'm hungry.
huh?
So
You
he
sure?
knows where Li Xiaotao has gone, but he won't tell us unless we give him some money.
Manuels, I understand.
So we ask him to tell us first,
Thank you very much.
and then we don't give him any money. Because that's negotiation. And so now we have the information that Li Xiaotao is staying at Manmo something. So how hard can that be?
Do we have time for a donation?
Sure.
So, we have $5 from Balglor saying, Duck Block Hype. Thank you for that, $5.
Thank you, Baglor. So yeah, we're looking for Manmo something. We've got arrows to Manmo China here. We've also got Manmo Herb Medicine here. There's also Manmo Antiques, which is just around this corner. It could be any one of these buildings. I think there are 11 in total. And what you're expected to do is talk to people, visit these buildings and ask if there's a Li Xiaotao there, and eventually they'll point you to the right direction. We've played this game before. I've played it once or twice or 400 times. So I already know that the place we're going to is at the top of this very big hill, and it's Manmo Temple. Because amazingly enough, the place you'd expect to find a Kung Fu master. I mean, maybe you'd find him in an antique shop, unlikely in the bistro, but definitely in a temple. So we arrive at the temple, we take a look around, that's all that cutscene is, you don't miss anything here. And then we enter the temple, we meet a lady called Hong Shiying, and she wants to know why we're visiting. And then Master Han Hui, who is the head monk of the temple, if you like, tells us that we can meet Master Li Xiaotao, but we must first know the 4 Wuda. But he won't tell us what they are. And when we run down here, we run into Xu again, and she tells us that any martial artist of true virtue knows the 4 Wuda, and that if we want to know, we should ask one. So now we're going to go and find a martial artist. Now we have previously run past a Kung Fu school, and we are going to check in there later. But for now we need to ask somebody if they know any martial artists. Let's ask this guy here. Not her, him.
Excuse. Welcome. Do you know of any martial? Yes. Senyu. He's pretty. Senyu.
So he tells us about Zhang Yu's barber shop. And it's right here. It's almost like we planned it.
That's calling
Shenmue Barber's
the
shop. This must be Zanyu's shop.
It's Zhang Yu's shop. And so we encounter another typical cutscene, which is actually really good for explaining the run. Because the way this game works is as you learn the full Wuda, you're actually tasked with doing it yourself as a player. So you're not only learning about them through cutscenes, you're also learning about them through action.
For example, while they were having tea
So here we're being explained
or sitting at the barber's.
a few things.
Listen, do not move, no matter what happens.
He tells us that we mustn't move no matter what happens, and then the game throws a quick time event at us, in which it tells us to press A, but because he told us not to move,
So
we
young,
don't press A,
but you've got guts.
and that's how we pass.
The razor's motion was sharp.
It's interesting.
But I
This
did
is
not
actually the
feel
first
any
QTE
menace.
we see in the run, but it's not the first one you normally see in the game.
And stay calm.
So
to
at this
make
point,
the
you would
right
be trained to
decision.
understand how the QTEs work.
That is one of the voodoo. Done.
Done. Be brave. Stay calm in order to judge correctly.
If you train hard, you'll be a master of martial arts.
So we learn the first Wuda, done, which is to be brave, stay calm in order to judge correctly.
Yeah.
And we've showed that we have this virtue by being brave and staying calm when the QTE pops up.
That's a that.
Done.
Yeah.
By being brave and staying calm when the QTE popped up, because we were told not to move. We can't just press the button because it appears. We have to do what's told. So we will learn the other three Wuda in the same way, but as a short detour, we're going to visit this pawn shop because we need a bit of money, and all of our money's been stolen.
First time here?
Yes.
So this is the reason I load it from a previous game save file. We have lots and lots of
It is
toys
our flyer.
that we can
The
sell.
buying rates are listed on it.
I only need
And
$10
what will
for
you be
now,
selling?
so I'm going to sell a little thing. It's going to be this animal collection
Wow.
for $240.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there?
So that'll leave us with a few dollars spare.
I'd better.
I see. If you like.
And then we're back on our journey. So again, what would be expected to do is to go around, ask some more people if they know any kung fu experts, and there'll be a few different answers. They can lead you from place to place. But again, we've played this game, we already know. And the second one we're going to go and see is Janmin, who is doing some Tai Chi Chuan in Lotus Park. The game has an interesting mechanic with Janmin, because when we arrive at Comeover Guest House, Joy tells us that she's going to take us to work in the morning, and the game wants us to experience that before we get too far ahead in the story. After this, the game will actually fast forward time, so that we have to sleep before we can get too far ahead. So we do this now because it's a good time. So we do some practice against Janmin, and we ask him what the Wuda is, and he tells us to punch this tree. So we punch this tree, then he tells us to keep doing it until we cover the ground with leaves. And this can take quite a while. You'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner there is a meter, and we have to hit it when it's yellow or red.
I've got the hang of it.
The problem is that it doesn't go all the way up every time. So there are 12 units, 12 circles, 12 segments, and it will only go up to between 9 and 12 at random.
Yes.
So for best efficiency, we usually try and stop it on 9.
That
Yes,
takes
this is
a long
good.
time to
It-
practice.
It's all about practicing for a long time, yep. And there really is nothing else going on apart from punching a tree for a little while. So if there's any messages, this is a good time to do them.
Centralize all your body's strength.
I have no messages, but we'll tell
I
Pat
understand.
that We are obviously watching UKSG. Thank you for watching. This is a 2-day speedrunning marathon that's coming from you live from Glasgow, Scotland. Thank you for supporting us.
This is it.
So yeah, I think this is how you get good at Minecraft, isn't it? It's you just punch trees for a bit.
That's looking much better.
So Janmin
I
is
think I'm getting it.
pleased with our progress. We are slowly improving our skill with the Iron Palm,
Feels right.
and eventually we will do good enough.
Looking good.
Should I do a really weak punch for no reason?
How's
That's always
this?
funny to watch. Let's do that. There we go. That's the realistic version. Okay, so we have Gone, which is the second Wuda, which is to practice every day without neglect. And again, we've learned this through action by practicing punching this tree a lot. So now we've learned the second Wuda, we're going to move on to the third. And we're perhaps going to go to a more obvious place to find a martial artist here. And that's this martial arts school. I don't know why we didn't think of this first. So we're going to ask Master
Are you-
Georgetown.
Yes,
Please tell me.
there is a to meet your right, but
Why is
I have.
what do you mean?
There is
A street
he what? It is a man.
So if you caught that conversation, or if you didn't catch that conversation, Master Georgetown used to have a disciple who kind of left the school and started doing some street performances instead. This is clearly not the true way of a martial artist, but we're going to try and meet up with him and try and reconcile the two. In the meantime, we're going to buy a map, because we're seeing how powerful the maps are in this game.
maps? Golden quarter. It'll come in handy.
So this map will allow us to do all of these skips that are coming up. All of the remaining map glitches, that's the word. So the street performer is in the Golden Shopping Mall. This is the biggest shopping mall in the game, I guess. Very nice scenery at night, by the way. I do like this place. So we go into the Golden Shopping Mall. We see some street performers, but the one we're most interested in is this guy sleeping over here. And we tell him that we're looking for the Wuda, and he says, well, I could help you, or you could chop this rock in half. So we chop the rock in half, and he gives us a letter. So what actually happens is we work out that he is a student. He is the student of Georgetown, and he thinks that the master's ashamed of him, but we tell him that actually no, the master is ashamed of himself, and so he gives us a letter to give back to the master. In the meantime, I'm going to talk to Izumi Takano, the owner of this convenience store. She is completely irrelevant to the story, and in an any percent run, you would not see her at all.
Yeah.
In fact, you could complete the entire game normally without even knowing she exists.
Does she come from Japan?
She's a Japanese schoolgirl,
Okay.
you know, the best kind, and and she's studying Chinese history, which is why she's coming to visit Hong Kong. All of this is completely irrelevant because, again, she's not important to the story, but she is very important to duck racing. She is the single most important character in duck racing, and we will see why in a second. In the meantime, we've got a letter, and we're not going to have a chance to see the letter being read out, so I'll just tell you what it says here. Basically, he says he's broken Jie, but he cannot get rid of either Tune nor Fist. And what this essentially means is that although he knows he's no longer he's breaking the virtues of martial arts, he's still practicing every day. He refuses to give up on his practice. And so we learn that Jie, which is this one, is about never showing off your moves faultlessly, not doing performances for money, none of that sort of thing. You only use your moves when you need them, for the purposes that you need them for. And again, we learned that by doing the street performance. But in our case, it wasn't for money, it was to learn information. It was a necessary thing we had to do. So we need to find a 4th martial artist. And the master directs us to Sunny Capital Pharmacy, which is this building here. And then we have to deal with the most annoying person in the game. Because trying to get information out of this guy is like trying to get blood out of a stone. You have to talk to him 6 times.
I'm looking. I heard that. Did you? Yes. Can you have you? Yes. Do you have any? It's. I've already been. I see.
Okay, and that's 6.
There is Guishan. Who? Where is Guishan? She go along. Turn. I understand.
So he tells us about Gui Shang. So we're going to go and find her now. So we're going to run to the Yantin apartments. And we see the old lady from before being surrounded by a bunch of thugs. So what we're going to do is do what anyone would do, and we're going to kick them. And I'm just going to kick them. I'm just going to keep kicking them. This isn't the fastest way of doing it, but it is a really consistent way of doing it. And I'm actually quite bad at the fighting in this game. So kicks it is. And that's all the kicks done.
Oh.
And then we then find Gui Shang. And it turns out the old lady is Gui Shang, and she asks why we helped her. And we say, well, obviously it's the right thing to do. You see an old lady being harassed by a bunch of guys, you want to go and help her. And she says, well, there you go. That's the 4th Wuda. You help others in need. You always do the right thing. And we're like, well, that's great and all, but what's it called? We need to know the name of it. We need to go ahead and go tell the monk that we know the 4 Wuda now. And she says, oh, I can't remember. Obviously lying. And she tells us to go and ask Master Mo at Manmo Temple, which essentially is code for go and do some work at the temple. We can't at the moment because it's 8 o'clock at night and it's now closed. So we're going to go to bed. So we're going to go to our cheap hotel room and we're going to sleep. When we wake up in the morning, we're going to find Joy outside, and she's waiting to take us to work. Now, if we leave, as we're supposed to do, we will enter an 8-minute long mini-game that cannot be sped up in any way. And that's really slow. We don't want to do that. So we're going to run up these stairs. We're going to turn around the corner. And then we're going to be outside the building. We're going to open this door from the outside. And this actually puts us properly outside without needing to go to work. We're also going to talk to Joy here for fun, because if you talk to Joy when you're not supposed to, she does this.
What is it?
Where is Manmo Temple?
You get some lovely star jumps from Joy.
At the end of the Wiseman's Quarter.
So this is actually an error state. The game is not expecting us to talk to Joy here. And the way the game handles that error states is if you have an animation that is not assigned, it will default to this star jump animation. And the idea is when you're developing it, you're playing the game, you're looking along, you see anyone doing star jumps, you can go, well, obviously they're not supposed to be doing that. We need to fix that. In this case, they didn't fix that because you're not supposed to be here anyway. So yeah, so by glitching out of that building, we've just saved 8 minutes, which is great because that means we can get to duck racing very slightly faster. And we're on our way to Manmo Temple. We need to find the 4th ruler. There's a bit of a trek, so again, any messages you want to read out, now's a good time.
I will use this time to plug a good old donation incentive. So as we know, we have a cup head coming pretty well, a couple hours. So we have a donation war bid for that, which is for all bosses NGM character selection. You can either select Cuphead or Mugman, and then also we have one for XCOM Chimera Squad, which is what faction we will play as, which is either Great Phoenix, Sacred Coil, or the Progeny. So make sure if you donate to help the bidding wars and pick what one you want to see.
Yeah, so we've arrived at Scarlet Hills, and when we enter Mammo Temple, there is going to be another unskippable cutscene. So we're going to try and avoid that with the map glitch once again. This one can be a little bit difficult, so I'm actually going to set it up. I'm going to run this side and just turn around. That was terrible timing. I didn't even press the button at the right time. Okay, I can't do it, so I'm just going to trigger the cutscene because I'm really not doing well on my map glitches today. It's going to be faster to just watch the cutscene.
Right now. I'm here for Master Mo. I want to ask him something.
Which is a shame, 'cause I would have liked to skip this one.
Is in the back. I want to meet him. Can I go in?
No, we're cleaning the temple now,
Hold on the party.
so visitors are not allowed. I'm sorry, but you'll have to leave.
So he tells us we have to leave, and we just say, "Can you ask the master?" And he says, "All right, I'll go and ask." And then while he's going to ask, we sneak in anyway.
Excuse me.
Then we get to the other unskippable cutscene. We can't skip this one in any case. Even if I did do the map glitch properly, we'd still be watching this one. So this is a good time for me to get some hydration in.
Am I the only one cleaning away the soot?
Stay hydrated.
Excuse me.
What? You can't be here during this hour.
Well, during this cutscene, I would just like to thank ESA for supporting this marathon. Besides providing us with their channel for live streaming, they are sharing gear and technical assistance. The big ESA Winter 2023 will take place from the 18th of the 20th to the 25th of February, and submissions will be open soon. So make sure if you do want to run at ESA, you can submit to that.
Yes. How about cleaning away the soot here?
So we're asked here to clean away the soot. We say yes, we will. And we remember that Guisheng told us to ask Master Mo at Mammo Temple. Master Mo is on this side, so we're going to clean right beside him. And there we have the final Wuda.
This is Yi.
Yi.
Act without hesitation to do the right thing.
Act without hesitation to do the right thing. So we finally learned the full Wuda, and we find out that Hong Shuying, this lady, is actually Li Xiaotao. And we're really excited by this news, so we try and give her a hug. And we're going to keep trying. So this is actually should be a fight scene. But if we keep trying to hug her, it goes much faster, because it doesn't interrupt us with cutscenes.
So what she's wearing is like traditional Chinese.
Yeah, she's wearing a traditional chi pao, which is worn by it's kind of the posh dress, I guess.
Yeah, also by the olden day is most lady to wear it.
Yeah. So now that we've finished hugging her, she's going to go back to her apartments, and she's also invited us to stay there, but it's not what you think. It's completely innocent. She just wants to give us a place to stay so we can improve our martial arts. Unfortunately, she walks to the apartment so slowly that we have about 5 minutes spare. So in the meantime, we're going to go to this pawn shop, and we're going to reap the true benefits of the save file. So when I was playing Shenmue
Your
1,
first time here, I suppose?
I did a whole bunch of raffle draws
Yes.
to work out the
Take this then.
actual chances of getting each prize from the raffle.
Our flyer.
And I actually did over 9,000 draws, which took
Oh, what do you
about
wanna sell?
75 hours in total. That's a lot longer than I wanted to,
Yes.
but the main goal was actually to get this save file, which is where if I go to singles, you'll see I have 25 of these and 7 of these. And if I sell them all, I will go from having a mere $270 to $1,930. Now this is enough to complete the game twice over. We'll never need any more money than this. So now we've gone ahead and done that. Let's run up this slope. I never normally run up the slope, I normally go up the stairs, but I feel like doing something different. And we need to find She again. Here she is. And she's going to walk slowly back to her apartment. Is there anything else I can have a look at? Let's ask this kid about gambling.
Hey,
What is it?
do you know what gambling is?
Not really. You should ask someone else.
Oh, right. Thanks.
Okay, so the kid doesn't know what gambling is. That's pretty standard fare, I think. I think I'd be more worried if the kid did know what gambling was. Anyway, so she's still walking to her apartment. We need to wait for her to get there, and then we can actually go in.
李小桃
Yeah, this is Li Xiaotao. So we're here. She looks at us. She says, it's room 205 or whatever of this building. We need to wait for her to go to her. It's 207, but we need to wait for her to go to her apartment again. So we're going to count the fire extinguishers. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. She's still going up the stairs. Still going up the stairs. Okay. There's 4. There's 5. And then one final one over here. That is 6. And if you want to see 5 more fire extinguishers, you should check out Tintin on the Moon, which I'm running tomorrow, where we'll have another 5. Nice little plug there. So we go to a room, and she's going to let us stay there for free, except there's no such thing as free, because she's actually going to make us do some work for the temple. And that's how we earn our wages.
Carry each
That's
pile
fair,
and
you know.
place
That's
it
very-
on the
that's very
stand
fair.
outside. I'll spread out the books.
Like, you can't complain.
just
You're
carry
getting a
them
free
out.
room.
Your service to the temple will last until noon.
We have to spend
If you
a
carry
couple of
them
hours a
all
day
out,
carrying
you'll
out
be
some
done.
books.
I got it.
They are precious books, so don't drop them.
They're precious books,
Let's get
so
to
don't
work.
drop them. Very
Might as well.
important we don't drop these. These are very precious books. We're definitely not going to drop them. So we're going to carry them. We're going to run out the door and immediately drop them. And immediately drop them again. And the reason we're doing that is to advance the in-game clock,
That's the way to go.
because we'll need that to be at least 10 o'clock for the a future event. Now we could carry on and take all the books out, or I could risk doing this map glitch again, which I nailed first time for once. So we're just going to casually walk outside of the book carrying area. I'm going to see if I can get the timing right in this. I did not. That's fine. So we're going to try and walk around this obstacle. Problem is you can't really see what you're doing, but it's fine. Okay, and we are out. So we walk into this temple, and then we walk straight back out again, and we're free. So the game forgets that we're supposed to be carrying the books and makes us free, but it's still got us in the state where we are carrying the books. So it's kind of confused now. You'll notice the streets are empty. It's not spawning any NPCs. We're spawning a couple of NPCs, but most of them are not spawning. And when we talk to the ones that do spawn, they are very ashamed of us cheating.
Welcome.
They won't look
Do you
at
know
us. They won't give us any eye
Do you
contact
know
at all.
any-
Keep up.
Where is the...
It's a
Okay.
So she tells us that at this point, now we've found Li Xiaotao, we're now looking for Ju Yuanda, who is the man who wrote the letter, who started this whole chain off. And she tells us that he wrote a book called The Wulin Shu, and that we can find it in Wise Men's Kung Fu. It's not in Wise Men's Kung Fu because we've played this game before. We know it's actually in the temple. So we're going to go to the temple and map glitch through the doors to avoid waiting a whole day and carrying out some more books. We go to the bookshelf, but it's locked. So let's go and ask Shooting for the key. And we go and ask her, and she says, "No, you don't need this book. You're too sought on revenge. You're too stressed. Try catching a leaf."
I got it.
So we catch a leaf, and she says, "Yeah, you're still stressed. Why don't you catch 3 in a row?" And we're understandably
I got it.
annoyed at being asked to do this,
2 more times.
but we do it anyway. And this is a great way of gaining your calm. You get some nice peaceful music.
I got it. If I can catch just one more.
We catch just one more.
So the reason let him catch not leaf, just let him more calm.
It's the, yeah, so you catch the leaves to make him more calm,
Okay.
to basically get rid of his anger,
Okay.
so he's not so hell-bent on revenge. So we catch the 3 leaves, we get given the key to the bookshelf, and we find 2 things in the book. The first is a martial arts lineage, which points to Jiao Sun Ming. Now, Jiao Sun Ming is Lan Di's father, and Lan Di is the person who killed Ryo's father. We're playing as Ryo. So this only strengthens our resolve to find Ji Yuan Da, because clearly he knows something about what went on. The other thing we find is a mysterious piece of paper, which has the symbols Heaven, Dragon, Earth, Comrade written on them, which is exactly the same words which were given to us in a letter, again by Ji Yuan Da, who told us to seek Master Chen. So we're going to go ask an antique dealer about it, but the antique dealer isn't here because we cheated and we are no longer in the book carrying. So we need to save the game, we need to exit the game, and we need to come back into the game, and we'll find that magically he'll be back.
Excuse
there he
me.
is.
Come on.
Do you know what
This is.
So he tells us this piece of paper is a Chawan sign.
Excuse me.
No,
What
no,
is-
no, don't speak to him. Speak to him.
Do you know what
This is.
Chawan sign?
Yes.
Excuse
No, no, no,
you
don't
have-
don't speak to him. Don't speak to him.
Get a disturbed.
No, not him. Him.
Do you know any? Could you tell me?
I.
Guishan? You mean
Yes. If you.
I understand.
Okay, so finally, the green guy likes to get in the way a lot. That's just something he does. I even have a there's a whole meme around him just saying, "Who, me?" It's never him. You never want to talk to him. In any case, we've found out that the piece of paper is a Chawan sign, and you might notice that we're now 37 minutes in and we haven't done any duck racing yet. That is a bit of a problem, but now we're finally at the point where we can do some progress towards duck racing. So while you're staying with Xu Ying, another NPC appears in the game world. Unfortunately, she's all the way on the other side from where we are. So we're going to have a long trek for her, which means it's another great time for another message. Or not.
No, sorry, we have nothing at the moment. So again, I'll just see if you guys want any updates for when marathons go live and when your favourite runs are coming up. Then please feel free to follow us on Twitter at UKSG Marathon. Also, if you use the hashtag UKSG Autumn 2020, you may be featured on stream. So please feel free to follow us on Twitter to keep up to date when each run's going live as well.
Yeah, thank you. So as you can see, we're still running we're going to Workers' Pier, which is about as far away from the action as you can get. And that's kind of one of the reasons that the duck racing is so hidden. There are a whole bunch of requirements you need to do, and most of them involve talking to people you never need to talk to, and entering places you never need to enter. So all of them are off the beaten path, but we're going to finally arrive in Workers' Pier. And in Pigeon Park, which is a place which is seen quite often in the story, but not in this run. see this lady here, who is Eileen Edelweiss. And we're going to have a very brief chat with her.
Do you have...
I say very
I
brief, it's
see.
actually really long, but we're
What
going to
do
skip through most of it.
You're interested.
I've never seen
Do you do...
a little.
That's
Perfect.
You want a...
A match?
Yes. It's easy.
No,
Why?
I didn't mean I can't write.
Is that...
Sorry.
Don't worry. I guess...
Send.
On second...
Oh,
I'm Eileen.
my name is...
Pleased to meet...
At any rate.
Thank you. Oh, but...
Huh?
It's...
Peak was.
That's the...
Yes.
Dear...
Yeah.
Okay. So essentially, the entire thing we learned from that conversation is she does Pequod Jump. It was a long conversation to learn a very small amount of information. But most importantly, now we've talked to Eileen, that is the second requirement for duck racing. The first was talking to Izumi. The third thing we need to do is get a bronze medal. Now there are 3 ways to get a bronze medal. There's the legitimate way, there's the grindy way, and there's the cheat way. So the legitimate way is to compensate the waitress of Lala E3 after crashing through a restaurant chasing Wong. I would do it that way, but the biggest problem with that is we never actually chased Wong. So we kind of can't do that. We've broken the legitimate way. The grindy way is to play roll it on top and win 3 times in a row. And if you do that, you get awarded a bronze medal. That's sort of like a bonus for winning 3 times in a row. And we could do that, but it's very RNG based. It's very slow. You know, we could do it first time. We could take 20, 30 attempts. It's literally a dice game where you have to roll higher than your opponent. So we're going to do it the cheat way. And the cheat way is really simple. After you've talked to both Izumi and Eileen, if you run behind the Green Market pawn shop here, this doorway opens up. And when we go through here, there's a bronze medal just sitting on the table for absolutely no reason.
This might be useful.
So there we go, the big bronze medal. And in fact, now we've got the bronze medal, if we leave and we try to go back in, we'll find that it's been boarded up. And that's the way it normally looks. So unless you've met all of the requirements, you can't go in there. So now we've met Izumi, we've met Eileen, we have the big bronze medal. We're on to requirement number 4, which is the Pine Game Arcade. And we're going to find another secret section, which again only unlocks once you've done everything required for duck racing so far. You'll also notice Joy's motorbike parked outside. She's usually in the arcade at this time. We're not going to see her though. She's had her star jumping fun. We're in for the best character in the game. So we're going to run up these stairs and we're going to meet the best character in the game. Here he is.
Oh, watching, or are you participating?
Yeah, he doesn't seem like much at the moment, but
okay,
you'll grow to love him. I trust you,
to participate.
because he will be featured much more prominently soon. So he asks us if we want to have a fight, and we do, and we find Eileen here ready to fight as well. So we have a nice fight with Eileen. This is actually probably the hardest fight in the run. And I'm going to make it look even harder because I'm bad at the game. But essentially what we do is we dodge a lot and then we punch when she's exposed. This can take a while. I have seen people do this fight a lot faster than me, but not consistently so. And I'm kind of geared towards consistency rather than speed. Which is probably why I'm so slow. Okay, can you stop doing that, please? Yeah, nice uppercut. And nice kicks to the face.
It's good kicking.
Yeah, she is an expert at Pika Zhang. We learned that.
Should say, hey, yeah.
Yeah, we got good few combos on it there.
So, see in China, Hong Kong, so a lot of people can do the Kung Fu.
Yeah, Kung Fu very popular in China.
It is common.
Come on, we're nearly there. Come on, there we go. Okay, one down. So after Eileen, we just get told to come again, which is very anticlimactic, but that's okay because we do come again.
Oh, watching, or are you participating?
We participate in the second fight,
Okay.
and this time
It's $20 to participate.
it's going to be Izumi. Now, if you're not familiar with the game, Izumi can be very difficult, but once you know how to beat her, she's actually possibly the easiest one in the game. So she will interrupt your fighting with these QTE commands. Luckily they are the same every time. You have to press X and B together, and then Y and A together. And other than that, all we're going to do is just going to spam punch. And aside from the occasional backflip kick to the face, we shouldn't have too much trouble with her. Although she is clearly a very veteran martial artist herself. Come on. No, now she's going to spam the QTEs at me. Come on. Stop it. There we go. And she's down. So yeah, Rio has successfully gone to the arcade and beat up 2 women, which is kind of not the best thing you want Rio to do, but he gets a silver medal for his prize. This guy tells us to come again, but we turn around and we actually can't. It's blocked off. But we got silver medal for defeating both Eileen and Izumi, and this actually does allow us to do duck racing now, but only the gambling portion. So if we were to go into the convenience store there now, we could have a bit of gamble on duck racing, but we need the gold medal to complete the duck racing run, and to do that we need a duck of our very own. So where are we going to find a duck? Well, there are actually ducks. They sell ducks in here in the White Dynasty Quarter, but we can't buy a duck. I don't know. It would be fun if the game let you buy a duck. I think be an interesting way of getting it. But no, the way you get it is so much more obscure. Because why would it be easy? Why would it be straightforward? Why would it make sense? This is a super hidden feature, which you have to do a whole bunch of things that are completely unrelated to each other. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to do a bit more story. And by a bit more, I mean a single event. Because we cannot pick up a duck on the same day that we unlock duck racing. We have to advance time to the next day. And I don't know if you were paying attention when we did a Junmin side quest.
These are the Yan
When we completed that side quest, because we hadn't yet gone to work, the game advanced the clock to 7 o'clock to make sure that we do that side quest. The same thing happens here. If we go and see Guishang and do the cup side quest, because the Chowan sign is actually a sign you make with teacups, the game will advance the clock to 11 o'clock because there is a cutscene we haven't yet seen. And so it will force us to see that cutscene before we carry on with the story. And luckily, this also means that we immediately move on to the next day. Right, so the next day, this is the day. This is the duck racing day. But first of all, we need to carry some books. And by carry, I of course mean drop. Again, we're not going
for a donation.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so we have $50 from Ollie37. Thank you for the $50. Very much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Bring the next pile.
So we have, we're going to take 2 piles here, and again, this is just to advance the in-game clock, because we have some events that need to be at least 10 o'clock. Every time you drop the book, you lose 15 minutes of in-game time, and this equates to about an hour and a half of real time, an hour and a half, a minute and a half of real time. So we've taken a couple of books, it's now past 10 o'clock, so we're going to escape once again using our favourite map glitch. Or we're going to fail the map glitch. Come on, we can do this. There we go. So we're going to casually walk while looking at absolutely nothing. Let's try and steer ourselves out of the path. We've missed, that's fine. Second attempt. And there we go. Straight back into the temple. Straight back out of the temple, and we no longer have to carry any books. So we're going to run to this tree, and for no reason whatsoever, we're going to try and catch some more leaves. So I guess the game wants us to prove our calm even further now, because what we have to do is we have to catch 2 leaves twice in a row, like 2 leaves at the same time twice in a row, or 3 leaves all at the same time once, and that was not a good drop. Come on, give us, that would be good if they don't fall to the ground before we get to them. There we go.
I did it.
So that's 2 once. Let's get another 2. Those 2 are too far apart. Those 2 aren't they? Whew.
I did it.
And when we do that, we notice something which is not quite a leaf drops down.
Damn.
It's a feather.
This is...
I wonder if there's any animals that have feathers.
That is...
Yes.
There's a duck in a tree. Why is there a duck in a tree? Nobody knows.
Choice.
So we're going to do some kung fu in the air in front of the tree.
No.
No, don't worry. I don't understand this either. This is the game.
Ooh.
And the duck falls out the tree. And now
I did it.
We did it.
Well done.
There's the cheers. We have the duck. We have the duck in our inventory. And now, 53 minutes in, we can finally do duck racing. So all we need to do is run to the convenience store. This will probably be the last. Well, this is the last bit of jogging we do. So, last chance for messages.
Currently have no messages, but again, if any of you watching are interested in finding out about other marathons or submit to UKSG in future, don't forget to check out oengus.com. Hopefully I pronounced that right, but you know, most people in the speedrun community know the website anyway, where you can find out information about upcoming marathons, the games being played, schedules, and more.
Yeah, Oengus is great. I really do like Oengus. So we're on our way. We're in the golden quarter. Well, not in. We're about to be in the golden quarter. Golden quarter. We've got corner. Back to the Pine Game Arcade, where we had all that memory 10 minutes ago of fighting some people. And And round the corner again to the tomato convenience store. Now there is one more thing to note. You'll notice there haven't been any NPCs, and that's because we're still carrying out the books. So Izumi doesn't spawn. So we need to save. We need to exit. We need to load the game back in. And there she is. So we're going to go back and skip everything that tells us that we're in duck racing. And here he is again, the best NPC in the game. And here's the ducks. And here's the racing. So the way this works is that we actually have full control of our duck. So I am steering, I am controlling the acceleration. But the duck has three kind of states. If you only pull the trigger a little bit, he does a little jog, and he'll gather stamina while he does. If you pull it halfway down, like I have been there, he does a run, and all the way you get a full sprint, which burns your stamina. Oh, I can't quite turn around the corners yet. You'll notice that the stamina bar is actually exactly the same as the bar we had for punching the tree, because asset reuse. You'll also notice that I've lost, and that's completely intentional, because when you first get your duck, it has stats of 0. You have 0 in speed, 0 in stamina, 0 in turning, 0 in guts. But every time you complete a race, whether you win or you lose, your stats increase. And that means each time you race, your duck gets better and faster. So it usually takes about 8 races on average for me to actually win. But for now, what you can do is you can try and predict which duck's going to win. So I think this time I'm going to go with blue. I think blue's got the best chance.
I will go to the yellow.
Yellow? Okay.
Ooh.
Blue or yellow? I mean, it's not going to be white. It's not going to be white for the next few races. The only other thing worth noting is that the barrels that appear on this, which they might be here, they're here. They are actually in a random position each time. They're usually around that corner, but they're different every time. And we're not flying yet. That's okay. When your speed stat gets sufficiently high, you can actually fly down those stairs, and that will save you a whole bunch of stamina. But for now, our aim is just to beat. We usually try to beat 1 minute on the first race and 55 seconds on the second. We are well ahead of 55 seconds on the second race, which is a great sign.
Too bad. It lost.
That was close. Another try. It'll be $50 a try if you're going to enter the race.
So try our third race. Again, average is usually about 8 races. I have done it in 6.
Okay, time to start.
And I have done it in 12. But the 12 is very rare. We've immediately killed blue there, which is fine, because when in practice it was the blue duck that kept doing that to me, so that's revenge. And I've just been blocked by the red duck. That's fine. So you can actually go up some of these staircases and take alternate routes, but we're taking the fastest route whenever we can. Come on, round the corner, round the corner. There we go. Can we fly this time? We're flying. Okay.
Well done.
Oh,
Hey.
oh. No, we're out of stamina. We're out of stamina. We're getting bullied. We're getting bullied. But yeah, any race could be the last race. I generally have no way of knowing. We're not last. We're last. We're fourth, in fact. Where's blue gone? I think blue's gotten lost. Oh no, there he is.
Too bad. It
Okay,
lost.
that's fine. Race number 4.
Another try. It'll be $50 a try.
So you can see why the estimate is 115 here. This could legitimately be over this race, or it could be over in another 10 races.
Okay, time to start.
There's a lot of RNG involved as well. Come on, we got this one. We started on the inside. That's got to give us an advantage. We blocked red. Round this corner. Our turning stat has not gone up as high as I'd like it to. That's a shame. That's fine. Come on.
Come on, dog.
They're pulling ahead. That's fine. They'll run out of stamina sooner, hopefully.
Ooh.
We're going to wait until round this corner. Pass these barrels and gun it. Go, 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 go.
Oh.
Red's going to... No, Red's not. I don't know what
Come on, why?
Red's been roiding up, I think. Red's been roiding up. He's do a drugs test on that duck. Fourth again.
Oh.
But we are under 50 seconds.
Too bad. It lost.
That was close. Another try? It'll be $50 a try if you're gonna enter the race.
It's worth a long build-up.
What?
Right, race number 5.
Time to start.
We're on the outside this time. That's bad. But hopefully we can. We'll take a back seat. A quack seat. Come on. I don't want to. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Come on. I don't want to get bullied by yellow. Okay. Red's definitely on something. We're out of stamina.
Oh.
I still think we need to get that red tested.
So that's right. It's second
Too
place.
bad. It lost.
That was close. Another try?
Okay,
It'll
so
be $50 a try if you're gonna enter the race.
race number 6. This is my personal PB.
Okay.
So I have beaten race number 6, which means after the duck stat increases. I just heard weight reduction behind me, which is a I like it a lot. I am being bullied. I'm being bullied. Come on. Where's the race official? We need to get them done for foul play. No, no, no.
Come on, fly.
Come on, we can still take them. We can't, but we have to race. We finish the race as quickly as possible. Again, improves our stats every time we finish. So there is actually, on the Dreamcast and Xbox versions, the original Xbox, yeah, we beat green.
Too bad. It
There is
lost.
actually a key combination you can press to see your stats,
Another try?
but we're playing on the Xbox One version, which doesn't have that, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would show the stats increasing as we go.
Okay, time to start.
So this is race number 7. We can do this. Again, behind them, that's fine.
Come on, go.
It's fine to be behind at the start. It's the end that matters more than the start. But that does not help. That doesn't help. Come on. I don't think there's any slipstreaming mechanic in this game. We can get some.
You still have opportunity.
Yeah, so sometimes the ducks can just run, like you burn up the stamina too early and run out towards the end, which is what happened to a couple of ducks here. But unfortunately, red once again.
Oh.
That's clearly Michael Shoecracker.
Too bad. It lost.
Okay,
You still have
where are we now? Race number 8.
Another try? It'll be $50 a try if you're gonna enter the race.
We've still got 10 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah.
Race number 8. This is my average.
Time to start.
Right, this is a good start. So red is gone ahead, but he's going to run out of stamina quickly. Green's making the gun for it now. Just let him through. Come on. Take him out on the inside. And, oh, we're in a race for it with black. We've got to beat black, because we're going to beat red easily.
Oh.
We're in first place. We're in first place.
Come on, go. Oh.
And we crossed the line and we're first.
Right, well done.
And time ends when we get the gold medal.
Well done.
Time ends when we get the gold medal, which will occur as soon as the race finishes.
Yeah, congratulations.
And there it is. That's time. That is time.
Another race. It'll be $50 a try if you're
So we've got an extra 10 minutes. I think one thing we should do before we do that is check out the gambling section. So everyone, we're going to look at a series of ducks. Pick your favorite duck. I have no control over this one.
B for speed, D for stamina, B for guts, strong in the home stretch. The black one at number 2, A for speed, D for stamina, D for guts, good at holding opponents down. The red one at number 3, B for speed, D for stamina, D for guts, good at holding opponents
I
down.
will go to
The blue
the
one at
green
number
one.
4, B for speed, C for stamina, C for
How
guts,
about you?
strong in the home stretch.
Well, I'm still looking
The
at the
other
ducks.
one at number 5, A for speed, D for stamina, A for guts, has sharp and quick legs. The green one at number 6, B for speed, C for stamina, D for guts, good at getting a head start.
Okay, so I'm going to go with red, I think.
Then place your bet and pick
Number
your favorite
6.
So I'm going to put down $1,000 on red. Let's see what we get.
Okay, time to start.
So in the meantime, I'm going to say thanks for watching. I've been DigitalDuck. Follow me, twitch.tv/DigitalDuck. If you're really interested in duck racing, there is actually a Twitch channel which does this 24/7, where you can place your own bets on the ducks, and that's twitch.tv/duckracing. I'm not affiliated with that anyway. I just think it's a great channel. Everyone's doing the thing again, and I'm going to be back tomorrow with some Tintin on the Moon. So let's see if we win our $1,000, get our bonus back.
I'll wait till the race is finished until I say the little intro bit. See if you win.
Oh, blue, no, no. Well, we've just lost $1,000.
Probably my group one.
Max
No,
Verstappen
blue.
came in from behind.
Yeah. See, the one time I want red to win. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Cool. Right, okay, so as you see, that's been Shenmue II Duck Racing by DigitalDuck. This is actually my last run hosting. If you want to see a face to the voice, I'll be doing Resident Evil Code Veronica X in a couple hours, so you can hear the lovely Scottish accent again. But yeah, thank you. We're going to go to ads, but the next run is Sonic Freerider, so make sure you stick around for that. I've been Dino Webb, and hope you all stick around.